All right, welcome everyone to week 2 of the prayer experiment workshop. And today I received, when I asked what can we learn about today, I received the word ask. Prayer is about asking. And so obviously I have a lot of questions to ask about asking. So I figured that I come up with a set of questions that we can ask our guides about it. But what comes up for you when you hear that statement that prayer is about asking and you need to ask? Where you at with that idea? Michael?
I've noticed I'm in a silo. I don't ask. I try to take
Yeah,
care of everything myself, and I'm really not in the habit of asking for anything. I even
yeah.
asking for help from people.
Wow. And you got to wonder how that got created.
Got to wonder how what are
It
created.
got created, that part of you that doesn't ask, because every children ask for everything. Diaper dirty, wah, hungry, wah, always asking. So you got to wonder how that got shut down for you.
I didn't think it was bad, but okay,
We'll see what the answers happen. We'll see what happens, because
okay.
if you don't ask, how do you pray? Exactly. And then if our guides and God is very sensitive to free will, and we're not asking, they can't get involved. They can't. Yeah. So, but I guess when we're in pain, or when we're in our emotions and we're in pain, I guess in some way we're asking, because in that place you're going to be, somehow prayers are going to come out of you. There must be ways that we ask that we don't think about. Michaela.
I ask for help to God a lot,
Yeah,
especially when I
yeah.
am in pain, like you say. But I think my journey is a bit around believing in the help that is going to come.
Okay. Okay, so that brings up 2 more questions in my head. So you do ask, but then there's a question of, I wonder if it's a question of fate, or if it's a law of attraction event to recreate pain that when we ask, we don't receive it. Sometimes when you
Probably,
ask,
yeah,
right?
because I feel like it's, as a child, it was this sense of having to beg. Like if I ask 100 times, maybe it'll come. There was no belief in that if I ask once,
Yeah.
I'll be responded to. So that's probably what
Okay.
it's.
Okay. Yeah. So now I'm wondering, going, well, if you're asking and you don't have faith in it, then is it even, can it even work? Because faith is what will drive it. Oh, so many questions. This is exciting. Now I'm like putting it all together. But then there's also has to be the law of attraction event that we got to feel about that. So many questions. This is awesome. Thank you. Michael.
Thinking of what Michaela just said, if you
Yeah,
ask 100 times and don't receive, maybe I'm asking the wrong question, or ask,
right.
you got to ask the right thing.
Exactly. Or if there's a part of you that doesn't have faith, then that desire overrides what you think you're asking. Do you know what I mean? So you could be asking, but it's a part of your soul that doesn't feel worthy of it. So it doesn't want it. So I wonder how all of that plays out. But then I guess if you're sensitive to your law of attraction, then you can start to grieve not receiving it, and then release the law of self-worth feelings. I don't know. If you become sensitive to our law of attraction, we'll be so busy just processing and responding. We'll have no time to eat. I'm just like, oh my God. Law of attraction is all the time, constantly poking at stuff if you become sensitive to it. Crazy. That's a really good question. Others? Jill, Habib, Selena, how do you feel about the idea that you need to ask?
No.
Selena?
Um, I think I have a lot of temper tantrums about it.
Yeah.
About not getting, like, how am I supposed to ask, and how am I supposed to know how to ask, and how am I supposed to know how to do this, and how am I knowing if this is the right thing, or if it's just being in an addictive process, and how am I supposed
Yeah.
to know any of this shit? So I have a temper
Exactly.
tantrum about asking, because I don't have a
Awesome.
clue
Yeah,
what you want.
exactly. Is it even allowed? Sometimes I ask, look, I'm
Yeah,
going to ask if it's allowed in all of your laws. This is what I would like.
yeah,
Like,
exactly.
please
Yeah,
set these questions. I don't know what your fancy rules have got to say about this particular side of my desire, but just if so it happens that it fits all of your criteria, here's what I would like. So many
yeah,
tensions right there.
yeah. And I have a big tantrum, like, because there's rules that I don't know and understand, and that makes me mad. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. Good one. Thank you. Michael?
I did do a little bit of the homework and prayed for Putin, and
Right.
it felt good to ask. The times that I
Okay.
did, I don't know what the outcome is going to be. Obviously, 2 weeks is too short,
Yeah.
but I felt like I was doing something that God was happy about.
Wow. What a beautiful, wow. Okay. You received a feedback.
It
Yeah.
didn't have anything to do with the request, but the action, or perhaps the faith that we're talking about, the effort.
Because you can, yeah, I'm really curious with that positive feeling you got from God about God was so happy that you asked. I mean, because looking at how blocked you are to asking, I mean, somebody's waiting a long time for you to ask. Hi, Brian. And we're just talking about today's topic is about asking. Prayer is about asking, and we're going to talk about asking. So we started with how everybody feel about the idea that you got to ask. And then we'll move on to asking our guides questions about asking. I'm going to be tired of this word at the end of the day. Don't say that word anymore. So let's start with our questions to our guides. The first question is, why do we need to ask in prayers? Why do we need to ask? What's that about? What is it that prayer require and asking? What's going on over there? It's how Selena would put it. Your rules makes no sense. So let's come back with answers from our guides. All right. So what kind of answers do we get? Michael's smiling.
Oh, I've got a list. I was going to let other people go first.
No, we're so excited that you got.
Okay, this was fun. Okay.
Okay.
I didn't protest very long, you see. It activates laws. It is magnetic. It draws unseen people to me.
Wow.
Um,
Okay.
it is the evidence of faith. To ask a question is evidence of faith, even a mustard seed. And then I asked, why is it essential? It is an expression of my will and desire. It shows or tells something about me. I think the important thing that I got is it creates a vulnerability in me, like a vacuum to draw something in.
Yeah. Okay.
It creates a space for something to happen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, asking is creating a section. Yeah, the space.
And
Nice.
it acknowledges that I can't do this by myself. I keep trying to do the path by myself, and you just can't.
No. So much fun with help and teachers and mentors. Look at Afra. How much fun is he having in the books? So many people, so many paths and adventures, and yeah. Okay, others? Okay.
I had an image of me like looking down and in the dark and the mess and the confusion, and then making the choice to look up and to recognize that I don't know the answer and that I do need to engage the relationship. So, and recognizing that there's a much bigger perspective and bigger picture and wanting to know about.
Okay. Okay. Boy, it pulls you out of the mess. Like it even makes you look away from it.
Yeah. Brings
Yeah.
light in. I look up the light that can come into it.
Absolutely. Okay, thank you. Selena.
Okay. Your will must be engaged, must in big letters. We can't make decisions for you, even though we know it needs to be asked. And that was deliberately told to me because it pisses me off so much.
Okay.
So I didn't get a lot, but what I got was, that's what pisses you
Yeah.
off. That's what you need to work with, that we know and you don't. That.
We
That
know what you
pisses-
need to be doing, but
Yeah. So just tell me then.
yeah.
Already. Come on.
Well, a good question to ask is, what could I be asking for? Because then they'll tell you.
Will they? Would they? You think so?
You asked.
Ask the question. Ask for the question. What's the question?
Yeah. What could I be asking for right now? What could I be praying for right now?
What could I be praying? Yeah.
It's the biggest
Okay.
issue I could work with.
Yeah. But then I probably wouldn't like the answer, so I don't think I got one. Yeah.
At least you know.
Yeah.
Jill.
So I got free will as well. Yeah, that was the first thing that came out. And then I got told a very nice long story. So it's our journey, not theirs. So our
Oh.
guides can give us all of the answers. They
Okay.
can give us all the answers. However, we won't understand what they're telling us. So we'll get lost and
Yeah.
confused.
Yeah.
And it'll actually cause more harm than good if they just give us
Wow.
all the answers. So they patiently
Okay.
wait for us to be in the right space. So I got the metaphor of like driving down a road and somebody's sitting beside you, giving you step-by-step instructions.
Yeah.
As you're driving.
Yeah.
You don't want step 100 or you don't want step 10 when you're on step 1.
Yeah.
Because it's like, well, I don't know where to go then. I don't know what to do. Do I turn here?
Yeah.
Do I go straight? What do I do? So it's step 1, ask a question. Step 2, ask a question, so on and so forth.
Wow.
That's what I got.
Brilliant. Okay, thank you. Habib, did you get an answer? Do you wish to share?
Hi. There was a lot of excitement.
Okay.
And it says that it will give me happiness and lightness. And I see white light. And it's that they've been waiting for me to ask and that God is listening. Only by asking can they reach out and give.
Nice. And they were excited, just like with Michael. There was
Yeah.
excitement.
Yeah, it's like,
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Bert, do you wish to share?
Or just that it connects me to my desire and to gratitude.
Oh yeah. Okay. My answer was that God has designed a whole universe in which the universe or God is responding to all our desires. That is what God has designed. The whole universe is about responding to the capacity to respond to our desires, and that God delights in our asking is because God delights in answering and fulfilling our desires. It delights God to do so. Yeah, the whole point is to ask, and therefore the creation will happen in response to it. Right? Okay. That's I mean, it seems that our answers are helping us to grow a certain perspective and relationship about God that resonates for us or help us heal something. Have you?
yeah. I guess there's a fine line for me, it's between asking and wanting.
Okay.
Because there's always like, I want this, I want that to happen. But I guess
Okay.
that's actually not the same as asking.
That's good. Actually, that's a good journey to, you know what, start that with your guides. Start that discovery with your guides, going, okay, guides, can you teach me the difference? And then they'll take you on a journey to teach you. Come up with a list of questions, and because these things are takes time to teach. Yeah. All right. Question 2 is, what happens when we ask? Which is prayer. What happens when we pray? All right. Who wants to start with that? With sharing the answers? I feel like we're all getting different facets of the same question. Like it comes together perfectly. So, what's happening here? Jill, go ahead.
Oops. I think I'm just trying to still kind of, I guess, put it into words. So when I first asked, I got, I don't know, a cross between like a very complicated machine and a watch with a whole bunch of gears kind of working in motion. And then I said, well, how am I supposed to explain that? So I, because it was all jumbled up in the image. So I got the image of when, it's not a very nice image, but when I got the image, I got of when my husband was in the emergency room when he had his heart attack. And there was like 12 people around him doing something. Everybody is doing individual thing. Everybody has their own sort of task, if you wish. It's like a group of people doing the exact same thing for us when we ask, coming in, helping, and doing what they need to do in order for whatever we're asking for, to happen.
Wow.
So I got that right away. So I had lots of time left, and I asked, so then what happens to me when I ask? Because I'm on a question roll here. Like, what happens to me, or what happens to us when we ask? I got a lot of answers. I'm not 100% sure I know what it means, but anyways, it builds faith. When I ask, I'm learning about God in that asking in prayer. I'm learning about myself, and I'm learning about my desires.
Wow. Okay. Thank you. Wow. Okay. Michaela?
I had the image of God sitting in a big armchair, and when we ask, we're choosing to go and sit in God's lap, and that gives us a listening and support and suggestions and connection and love, and basically a loving parent. It gives us access to our loving parent.
Okay. Wow. That's what happened when we ask. Okay, thank you. Byron? You're mute.
We're activating a request for something.
Okay.
Regardless of the outcome, God is happy we asked.
Yeah.
A light goes on. I saw this image of like houses with lights on, and it's like a light goes on, and God sees that light frequency, like a light is activated,
Okay.
like a light switch,
Okay.
and it's turned up, and we're like a beacon of light for God to come and
Wow.
See and respond.
Okay. That's beautiful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Others? Selena?
Yeah, mine was a little different. What's like kind of what Jill says, like it sets gears in motion, right?
Okay.
So what they're going to try and do is create attractions for you, like, so that means involving
Uh-huh.
other people and, you know, creating attractions, but also creating your ability. You also have to be able to see the attraction for what it is as related to the
Yes.
prayer and
Yeah.
or the asking. So there's a lot of things that have to happen. Like, so I have to know what, like, I have to keep praying also to even understand the attractions, because that's
Okay.
part of
Right.
them answering the prayer is we send you attractions, and that's how you feel what the problem is that is stopping you from having what you want, so that you can,
Right.
right?
Right. The first thing that happens is when you pray for something is if you're blocked to receiving it, they got to now trigger the emotions. So then
Yes.
some of us
Yeah.
have seen when we ask for something, suddenly law of attraction ramps up and things get worse. When,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're
Yeah.
trying to activate the blocks for to be released.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. Hedy, Michael.
I got untold riches are being put in my laps. That's the image I got. And the hand of God blessing me. And it also helps at cellular level to regenerate. That's what I
Okay.
got.
Okay. Interesting. Michael.
It was hard. This was a harder question for me, and I don't
Okay.
think I got very deep. At first I thought, well, it activates laws, and then the laws allow actions by others. And I thought, well, what more is there? And then it seemed like there's some kind of relation between how far I can reach in my faith and how much they can do for me or how much they can reach back.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's
Okay.
so I don't know if that's right or not. Because see,
Yeah.
I mean, if I ask for peace, I might have peace in my house, but not peace in the world. So
Yeah.
how how big of an answer to the prayer is there?
But then your faith will grow because you saw something happening. So now your faith is going to grow and grow and grow. And then the bigger the faith, who knows how far that will reach.
I think I'm
Yeah.
focused on the results rather than feeling like there is some kind of answer going on to me.
Something happens when you ask, yeah, even though we can't see it. Yeah. The answer I got was we start to develop a part. What happens when we ask is we start to develop a part of ourselves that feel worthy of being responded to. That part of us starts to grow. And also, like our souls start growing, which is what a lot of us, our answers is that by asking, we change. Something happens to us. So by asking, a part of our soul starts to develop. We develop new faculties, new awareness. We start to imagine, visualize, anticipate, dream. We start to change, and parts of our soul starts to grow through asking. We develop. I did not expect that. That we're changing because we're asking and praying all the time. Yeah, that's kind of cool. So it kind of takes the attention away from whether or not you receive the answer. When I was going through the crisis of, I prayed to God all the time, what happened, you didn't answer. After about, I don't know, maybe 10 years of feeling through that, the answer I was shown was that God did answer because God changed me. I changed, and I became the one that rose up and changed the situation I was in. God changed me as a response to the answer to the prayer. And it's like, whoa, okay, that was a surprising answer. And I'm sure lots of things happen in my environment as well, but I was changed was one of the answers I received. Michael.
Do you suppose that changing myself changes my law of attraction, which enables an answer to the question
Yeah.
to be
Ooh,
created?
that's a good one. Yeah. That's a good one. when your soul starts to grow and develop and you discover new faculties, like, wow, yeah, you got to wonder. Okay, thank you. I mean, I'm just studying in my own journey of discovering the power of prayer. I won't be surprised if 2,000 years from now I'm still on the topic. This could be my thing. We don't know. I don't know yet. Okay, next question. What are my blocks to asking? Now they get to get personal with us. Okay, what are your blocks to asking? Michaela, do you want to start? Saw you just jotting away.
I got that for me, it's still about the pain of my false perception that God wasn't there and all the anger that's still attached to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm excited to
how do
get
you,
to that.
sorry?
I'm excited to not have that one anymore.
Yeah, okay. Oh, okay, thank you. That's awesome. Jill?
My biggest, and it's wrapped in together, so it's fear, unworthiness, and then fear. They're separate, but they're together. Okay. So I'm afraid that of what I'm really asking for, like at a soul level. Like I may be praying for something and asking for something, but that's up here. What am I really asking for?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So, and I've been processing fear a lot in the last sort of few days, and like thoughts of being homeless and everything being taken away, not taken away. I had to give everything away and all of that. That has been coming up a lot lately, and I'm like, why is this coming up? And it's the fear of that my life is stepping forward and I'm getting things that I wanted, but am I just setting myself up now to have all of that and then have it all taken away from me? So that's the sort of the fear.
Okay.
Right. And so that's why it's tied into unworthiness. Right. Because I don't feel like I'm worthy of doing this. And I was also shown that in my persistence of asking for God for help, I have a belief that I can't do it on my own. Or I can't do this alone, but I'm actually developing an addiction to it, like a dependency. So I want God to do it for me.
I got it. Okay.
Right.
And God just don't respond. So
yeah. No. So I just keep on thinking, oh, God, help me see this. God, help me see that. God, help me see this. And it's it's like, no, this is just a dependency. You're not going to see any of it.
No.
Right. So
that's a good distinction to learn about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good one.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Who else wants to go? Selena and then Bern.
My guides are being real blunt with me today. You aren't patient enough, and you don't reflect on the prayers that have been answered. And she says you can build your faith that your prayers are answered with more reflection on these things, like really ask actually, when have my prayers been answered? So that I can have more faith that my further prayers will be answered.
Yeah.
So, and also another thing is like a question like, why do things take so long? And want to know the answer to that question, and also ask what has been changed through prayer. Like that.
Yeah. Building your faith is
and ask the questions that piss me off, like why does it take so long, and why, when did this ever work? So they can help me with those questions so that I can have more faith, so that I can continue asking with some faith. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Barb?
Blocks are being too busy, not having faith that prayer is important or works.
Yeah, okay.
Underestimating the magnitude of prayer. That
Yeah,
when so many people are praying for the same thing, that it could actually be powerful.
okay.
Disbelief that God would do anything or answer my prayers. So I think it's similar to what others were saying about unworthiness or faith.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, like Selena, I think my guides are being very, very honest here. They say I'm very independent and aloof when it comes to my relationship with God, and lack of love and appreciation for God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which will happen once you start to see that your prayers were being answered. This is how God has, but then you got to ask to see it, which is what Selena got. You got to ask, show me how my prayers have been answered.
Right.
And then you will change your mind and start having gratitude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you. Okay. Hadip, do you want to answer? I don't want to put you on the spot if you don't feel like it. Up to you.
Well, I got the image of being shoved around, of how dare I ask.
Yeah.
And I guess being let down.
Yeah.
And just basically this fear has been put in me around asking.
Yeah.
Like asking means there's fear tied to it.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. But you have seen from your early answer that that's not how God feels about you asking. Yeah. So, but if you start asking and then the fear come up, then you can start to release it. Yeah. Yeah. The answer I got was, and this is also my childhood experience, that my desire or request will hurt others, because I was blamed that if only I hadn't wanted this or that, so and so wouldn't have suffered because of it. So I got this guilt in me that my desire or request will hurt others, that God will get mad or inconvenienced by my request, and also this control addiction I have. Will you answer my prayer? Will I get what I want? If I know I get what I want, then I will ask, which is now I'm beginning to see as part of a control addiction. So I got 3 blocks right there to work through. I could have kept going. Michael.
The first things that came up were worth issues, like not worth it, and belief in God. And then I'm used to normalcy. I don't I'm used to the status quo. I don't look bigger. But also my ask muscle feels weak and flabby. So I realized I don't really want to make the effort to learn from it, and also there are addictions that I have that are not being met because you do it privately, you do it quietly, and there's no, I'm not getting feedback from people around me.
That's right. Yeah, asking God prayer doesn't give you addictions. That's right. Yeah. So those are good ones. Okay. So the last question. I love this one. What does it feel like when I'm truly asking? So guides could either give us a feeling or take us back to a memory where we were truly asking, so that you know what it feels like. So you have a reference point. Okay. Okay, this one got pretty tricky or pretty confronting. Got pretty confronting. There's nothing tricky about it. Yikes. Some of you have mentioned feeling of unworthiness, and I couldn't see it until I asked this question. And it's like, oh my goodness, the feeling of so much feeling of unworthiness that it almost counteracts the asking. It just deletes it. Confronting answers. Anyway, who wants to go? Who wants to share? It's okay to be a little bit like, what just happened here with your experience? Hadi?
Yeah, this one was a hard blank one. Like for longest time, nothing came. And then the
Okay.
only thing that came is I feel light and in sync, and that's it. And then nothing else.
Okay.
I have no experience to draw from. Like,
No.
yeah, it's just,
Okay.
yep.
Yeah. So light in sync would be like what you're asking for is in harmony with God's laws. And light would indicate the feeling of what? Like, yeah. Oh, I'm shocked by my answers. Thank you, Eddie. Jill.
I'm gonna have to sit with this one for a while.
Okay.
I got nothing like on how when I truly ask, how do I feel or what are the feelings I have?
Yeah.
I got really honest, I got nothing. And then I am like, okay, so maybe give me a memory of when I truly
Yeah.
asked.
Yeah.
And it was the memory that came up was when I asked to, and I don't even remember how I worded it, but I asked something along the lines of, help me release what I need to release in love to be able to find my soulmate, something along those lines.
Okay.
And that, but I don't remember the feeling that I had because I think it was a fleeting thought. And then I kind of went into crying. I'm if I remember correctly, it was a long time ago. So I think I remember going into crying, and into shaking. But that was also where I was at that point in time.
Yeah.
Like if I wasn't crying and shaking, then I wasn't feeling at all. So
yeah.
I can't say 100% what I was feeling.
Yeah.
But at least they're like, just hang on to that example. The feelings will come later. So I'm like,
totally.
Okay. Yeah.
Totally. This is there's a lot going on here in this innocent little question. Huh. And the answers we're getting. Yeah. And naturally, I mean, we shouldn't stop asking just because we are not learning how to ask yet. Keep asking. We're still in the department of desiring to learn how to ask. But then you can see that magic moment when you ask, and it could be a passing thought, but everything lined up and boom, whew, off he goes. Everything is off to the races. Huh. Okay, thank you. Others? Michaela?
I got, there is nothing in the way, the feelings and the words flow. I reach and I receive from my surroundings. I surrender. I know there is a presence with me. I know I am in an exchange.
Okay. So you are already in that space of faith, of openness, of vulnerability. You're already emotional, right?
Yeah.
It sounds like all those pieces have come together.
Yeah, I kept getting images of when I'm in nature, like it's a specific dynamic I need to set up to be in that space.
Yeah.
But it's always alone, always in nature.
Perfect. There's a dynamic that has to be set up to create that space. Yeah. Thank you. All right. Selena, do you wish to share?
Oh, yeah, I got like childlike and humble and connected and really feeling compassion for myself and being able to receive compassion that's being given to me while I'm asking. And also to feel compassion for myself. And
okay, that's really kind of soft-hearted. Okay, so that's an important piece.
Yeah, the compassion. Yeah, I'm asking.
Yeah. But you're also willing, because you're feeling it for yourself, you're now in harmony with how somebody else is feeling about you, which is also compassion.
Yeah.
Kind of
yeah. like it's really about the connection, and I think big part of that is like it's the compassion for yourself in the asking that you need something.
Okay. Wow. Okay. And compassion would be a good place of probably temporarily forgetting that you feel you have no what. You probably sidestep that whole issue for a
Yeah.
second.
Yeah, that would, yeah, it's connected. If you feel compassion for yourself that you need to ask, yeah, it would help overcome those feelings of low worth about asking.
Yeah. Brilliant. Thank you. Okay. Michael.
This was a different kind of question because it was asking for a feeling,
Yeah.
you know, but I still made it into a thought.
Okay.
So I think it's a combination. So for me, it's first of all, it's quiet. It's a space where there's no doubt
Okay.
and there's no waves or no interference. It's like peaceful.
Okay. Okay.
There's some faith and there's some expectation.
Okay.
There's peace and release. I don't
Okay.
have anxiety. I've let go of anxiety about the outcome because I've
Okay.
handed it off to others who are wiser and more able than I am.
Yeah.
So I have to let go. And
Maybe that's why prayers feel good, because it's a surrender. We can't mention about surrender. You've now surrendered it.
there's some gratitude
Okay.
and some appreciation. I think there's some appreciation that it's really such a simple process,
Okay. Yeah.
like Selena was saying. And there's a feeling of being loved and cared for.
Okay. Huh. Something to strive for, especially in creating the environment in which you can get into that space. So that's necessary, whatever that means for each of us. Thank you. Byron, do you want to answer? Where you at?
Well, I think like Michael, I was forgetting that the question was what, I don't think Michael did this, but I'm doing it. What does it feel like? I forgot that there was a feeling content. And so, and then I started to not know if I even knew how to pray. Like,
Yes.
like sometimes I'm thinking like, is this prayer, or is it just my will, or my law of attraction, or but when I do pray, I think there's just a real sense of my heart, like love that I feel for myself and others. So I think like Selena, could be compassion. So it feels good when I'm either like, if there's a sense of repenting or a sense of wanting something, asking for something for someone else. Yeah.
Okay. Beautiful.
Yeah.
The answer I got was it's a very quiet place. I'm almost not having any words. It's a very quiet desire for truth. I was shown an example, I don't even remember that I could feel my mother's hatred, and I asked, why does she hate me? And that place, because from that point on, I could see so clearly what her motivations were. And I couldn't buy into her stories. I could see facades, I could see her stories, I could see her manipulation, and I still am very confused with why a lot of people couldn't and can't see it. Like, how can you not see it? And now I'm going, oh, I actually asked, why does she hate me? And I felt like something got separated out, and I would be shown, like I can see what's happening for her, where it's almost like I can see her and I can see what's going on in the background. And it felt like weird that nobody else can see it. So that was a beautiful answer. And then I also prayed, how do I escape her clutches? I asked, how do I escape her? And looks like that worked out. And then the question that's driving me now, again, I don't realize that I've asked this, but I'm asking God, do you love me? And it feels like a very quiet place. It's asking for truth. I feel like I'm in this big chamber in asking this question, and there's a sincerity to the question. But I really just want to know the truth. I really want to know the truth about it. So there seems to be some components coming in. But what I'm surprised with is that these prayers were quiet. There's not much mind chatter. And yeah, it's like, we got to think about this, like what just happened here. But also, I also became exposed to how unworthy I feel and how much that emotion is actually kind of negating the prayer process to some extent. It's kind of icky. So that's as far as I got. But now that we've asked all these questions, is there something else that you're feeling like, let's ask this question to clarify? Can you think of something else now? Well, I've come up with a question. How can we learn to ask? Oh, Michael.
What do our guides feel when we ask?
Okay. Yeah, okay.
I mean,
Definitely.
that's just
Yeah.
curiosity. I like yours.
Yeah, I was just thinking that, yeah, when we think we're asking or praying, what do they see happening? Because we could be asking and praying all the time, but it's like, wait, isn't that asking? Wasn't that working? Like what's happening there? But yeah, how can we learn to ask in an effective way? Let's do that. And then you can ask your guides, show me what it looks like when I'm asking, because I thought I'm asking like 200 times a day. What's going on there? Okay. Boy, that was the best question ever. I feel so much better already. Who wants to share? Michaela?
I got this image of me as a little child just babbling to God, and to just keep babbling to God and keep fantasizing about my concept of what a loving parent is, to just keep
Wow.
that door open as much as I can.
Okay. Thank you. That's beautiful. Can almost imagine that. Can almost imagine, like, yeah, I would want to talk back to that baby. Why wouldn't I? Can feel the desire to want to engage back with that child. I mean, not all of us. We all can't help it. Walk by a baby babbling, you're going to talk back to it. Michael?
The answer, how can I learn to ask in an effective way, would just be to practice it, to try it, to do it.
Okay.
So this is how it's ask. What do I want? What would I change? What bothers me? What would I like to be different? How can I
Yeah.
help? What can I do to be part of the energetic chain?
Nice.
Just
Like,
ask.
these are your kind of questions. Like, these questions intrigue you. You would engage. Right? Yeah.
I like this one.
Yeah. Okay. Selena.
Find that still, simple place in your heart, quiet reflection, and wait for what needs to be asked to become a parent. So get my head out of it and just wait for what needs to be asked. Like, just feel it rather than think it. what needs to be asked.
Beautiful. From that potent place of asking, Selena, wow. Imagine. Huh. Thank you. Like, just like what I think Hardeep was saying earlier, what is it that I think I want? Was it something somebody said? Or was it Jill? I can't remember. That, what are you asking for and what do you think you actually want?
Yeah.
Something. Yeah.
Sometimes
That's
you can't tell the
exciting.
difference, but if you just keep yourself in a real quiet place and just wait, wait for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Exciting. Thank you. Jill.
Yeah, very similar to kind of what everybody else got, but like continuing doing what you're doing. So just ask, like just talk. It's not even ask. I don't even think it's asking. It's just talking, having that conversation with God. Right? Just continue to talk to God. Whatever it is. If you're asking questions in it, you're asking questions.
Yeah.
And then I got, don't expect an answer. Like it'll come. Like don't, like even if you ask, just be more aware of your law of attraction instead of sitting there going, okay, I'm going to ask a question. You're going to answer me. No?
We do in the workshops. Yeah. Okay.
Right? So don't expect the answer. The answer will come.
Yeah.
And it's okay to ask something or to pray something and then walk away from it. That's kind of what I got from it too. Also to like you said, recognize that quiet space. And I kind of got it as like build it into your law of attraction. So, or recognizing, I should say, your law of attraction. So like in your day-to-day stuff, if you find that you have a moment, it's just like one moment in your entire day, it's like, oh, it's so quiet. Recognize the quiet space and maybe talk to God about it.
Okay.
Build that desire to learn. So, and then the question that came up was, show me how to pray. Show me how to ask. Like building up that desire to learn.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you. Hardeep, did you get something?
Took a while.
Okay.
And then what I got was practice and through trial and error. That's it.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, what do you think the workshops are? It's called an experiment, prayer experiment workshop. Let's start experimenting with ideas. Yeah, that's very good. Thank you. And
Sorry, there's a lot of fireworks going on, and
yes,
my dog. I've got my cats and my dog in my room, so I'll pass right now. So I'm just
thank you.
holding them.
Oh, yeah, there we go again. I like fireworks with this question. Like, oh, look at that! What a law of attraction. We asked this question, and yes, the question. So the answer was, what would God want from me in this situation? If I ask for that, that will start to develop a feeling of what? Because then I'll start to feel what God wants for me. And then I'll start to feel what? And then I started to feel the softness that I'm slowly developing into or discovering, because it turns out that that's my real self and the rest of me are all facades. I'm just going to contact Michaela after we finish, going, Michaela, facades, let's go, help me, we got to do this. I tagged Michaela, like she and I'm going to beg her to help me work through some facades. Awful. But I can feel the softness. I can feel what evokes that soft place in me. And I feel really good right now in my own skin, just being in that space. And I can feel in this space, I will know what to pray for. And I can already feel the moment I ask is already answered. In this place, I feel the anticipation, it's done. I can feel it, which is kind of it's very intimate. Somebody is aware of me, And I just know it's going to be answered, delightfully answered. So I just want to stay in this space right now. But singing does that for me. And the certain characteristics I have with how I engage with flowers and medicine, certain qualities I have that brings me into that softness. And I was told about a year ago that I need to stay in this softness all the time. And I shut it down going, there's no way I'm walking around looking like this, in this kind of softness. You're out of your mind. And now I'm desperate. I'll do anything to go back into it. So I feel good. Yeah, these answers have, I'm glad these answers have made us feel pretty good. Okay, thank you again for coming along with me on this journey, and we'll carry on.